Okay, I'm Margaret Ann Windsor. My dad is Edward VIII, who married my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, an American. He never married or had anything to do with Wallace Simpson. This whole thing, and yes, Hillary, it was a conspiracy. And my dear, if you don't know that, then you don't know anything. Of course you do. You're part of the New World Order, the global government without borders, etc., etc. So cut it out. She just did a snow job. I just heard it and I couldn't take anymore and turned it off. To garner the veterans vote, she could care less. All right, I couldn't take it and I cut it off. I wanted to say this also, so this brings her into play here. Um, I was kidnapped and I was brought over here in 41 to Moulton, Alabama, Lawrence County, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, and married children. Okay, now I want to skip. I wrote a book because I have to put some of this in for it to make sense. I wrote a book about mind control murders. Mind control used to murder. It can be used to create illnesses or cure them. And this has been going on since maybe before the Tesla files in 1930 were stolen, but since then. So they can cure your illnesses and they can create them. And they program people to shoot. And by the way, this myth that you can't make people do things that they don't want to do is a bunch of baloney. I got better words for it, but I won't put it here. I don't want to do this over. All right, now then, I want to mention here, because, excuse me, it was in an article, and it just happens to have him. Okay, you got John Edwards as a Virginia senator. Okay, John Edwards, I met his mother once when I first came to up here to Roanoke, October of '86. I met her briefly. Okay, now then, I have talked to him on the phone. I have been in his office here in Roanoke, downtown, and his office was, the last time I was in there, I believe it's Sun Trust Building, but it was side by side with U.S. Congressman Goodlatte, Republican. Okay? Now, I've been in both their offices, and I've spoken on the phone with John Edwards, and it was like he knew I was going to call him. So he knows all about my kidnapping. These people aren't dumb. They know all about the mind control murders. They cannot know about the mind control murders, Virginia Tech. There's a list of them going way back. And because these were deliberately done, they can be proven. Now then, how many people have been killed in this method? How would you ever know? Because it's invisible. I do know that someone knew just as well as I did, and they confirmed it years ago, that Duke Wayne, John Wayne, was killed. His illness, I looked it up, and I mean, they can do things you wouldn't want to know, I suppose. But anyway, I wanted to get to this. You got John Edwards, state senator. You got Senator Tim Kaine. Mark Warren is a senator now, former governor. I don't know this other guy's name. Bob Goodlatte, and they go on and on with the people here from Virginia. And by the way, the governor, he is McAuliffe, who worked on the staff of Hillary Clinton and Bill. He's governor now. So I hope I'm not skipping around. I've done some tapes and had to delete them. They'd be so long. I want to go back to Tim Kaine, who's a U.S. senator now, former governor. And he's VP candidate with Hillary Clinton, which shocks me. I thought that Kaine was a good guy. So before he left office as governor, he was going to allow Jens Zorings, who was a diplomat's son at the time of these Bedford murders, the Hazen murders, he was going to allow him to go back to Germany, his home, and serve the rest of his time. Well, suddenly it doesn't happen because McDonald is governor. Now he's under investigation for some things and convicted, I think, but anyway. So he's still in prison. And so was Elizabeth Haysom, and no one says anything about her. It was her parents that were butchered. They were students at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. I briefly paths crossed with Jens in Marietta, Georgia, and I went to Lovett School, and I also worked just briefly a day or two for a coach there, and that's where I come in contact with Chad and Jens. But anyway, and I was later flown out to Larry Flint's because I got in a campaign to replace U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald, whose plane was shot down by the KAL when it veered into their airspace. So I want to get away from that now, but this is a mind control murder. Jens Zoring, Elizabeth Haysom, I mean, now then suddenly, after this, they brought the subject back up nationally about Jens Zoring and the connection to Tim Kaine. Suddenly, on TV the other night, they have come up with a new attorney for Jens and proving that Jens was totally innocent. But these murders were done in patterns. So now then you got Tim Kaine up there with Hillary. And the point I want to make, too, is the people that I've just mentioned, and I'm going to go way back to my kidnapping. Okay, John Sparkman was U.S. Senator, and he totally knew about my kidnapping. In fact, he was involved in all the stuff concerning me, what was going on and happening to me, whether it's ransom, whatever. I have to wonder about the Rockefeller Foundation. They're the ones that kidnapped me. And they're donating to Hillary and Bill's foundation as charity. I wonder how the money and everything, I know there was illegal treaties and bringing scientists over here, deals were made that didn't involve money. But it made me think back, was part of it charity, because I worked for the district attorney in 80 in Huntsville, and I'm not going to mention his name. I was working in his campaign, and he mentioned the Shriners and the Burn Hospital. That's where the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the global government, the Rockefellers, and the Jews, they're helping children, which is a good thing, helping children that can't afford it. And this is also in the Scottish Rites, which is the Freemasons and same people I'm talking about, only that's research, and it really covers a lot of areas. Okay, I'm just going to lay this out. It was inferred to me, and I didn't understand it at the time because I didn't know about my kidnapping, that I don't know how they did it right at the moment, but it hit me when I heard this, because about donating, the Rockefellers donating to the Clinton Foundation. Is this how they transferred a lot of funds? The Brits did. They had to pay for me to stay alive by donating to these people's charities like the Rockefellers, etc. Okay, you get people's caring when you say you're helping children, like Jerry Lewis Foundation. Why? Ask yourself why they have never come up with cures. Suddenly they might come up with something, but if you walk into a hospital and look at all the technology there, I'm talking about everything. Probably if everybody knew you could cure illnesses a long time ago and what's really going on, you would ask, what are you doing with all this equipment? I work for a hospital also doing payables and payroll. And payables involved, you get to see through the whole hospital equipment. Doctors go to school, nurses, all that's involved with the medical profession. My point is, back to that, Sparkman, when he died in Huntsville, he was with a woman where they put me when they kidnapped me and put me over here. Lina Dempsey, when he died, they were friends, and she was staying with him when he died as a companion, I guess, aide. Anyway, these people have always known, and Oliver Jones, Bob Jones's nephew, even taped me in right after I worked for the district attorney, and he already knew. It was like a joke. He flew down there. It was Ronnie Flippo's office in Huntsville, by the way. So now then, this is probably going to go off. But, the one thing I'd like to put up here, knowing what I know about the CDC in Atlanta, that's supposed to take care of you, I was writing about some of theirs that was connected back then in the book I was writing. And, the thing that came into play was also the money given to colleges for research. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. The Scottish Rites, when I read that, and I think back about how that was ingrained in me learning and finally learning my name and what happened to me and my dad's name and what happened. So my thing is, without making an accusation, think about it and Google the Scottish Rites, okay? See if they're up to no good. Well, they kidnapped me, and they helped take over my country and overthrow the British government. And it's world dominance and control in play right now, and Hillary's a big part of it. Ask Hillary, since she, can you believe this woman's been taped and photographed where it's posted, and I believe it was her home, or at least she was in the building, and it was posted and you couldn't get in. They photographed her. So was Elizabeth and Charles. Please don't let me say a name and people start, oh God, because I've been called every name in the book. Anyway, the Netherlands, Beatrix, who's the same kin to me as Elizabeth is. She's way up there. It's shameful, really shameful that people fall for it. And now then, let's see if I can get back to where I'm going here. We're talking about mind control. You're talking about all these congressmen that know about my kidnapping. They have to. You cannot keep that secret among you. And how about when I started out this tape about Goodlatte, John Edwards, all the committees they sit on. Goodlatte sits on the judicial and the, judicial and what? Anyway, very important committees. You going to tell me all these people don't interact in Congress and tell each other things and about mind control murders? Oh, give me a break. Of course they do. Something would really be wrong with them if they didn't. I wanted to mention this one, too, before this tape goes off. Here is a veteran. He was put to death. He always told you that the Timothy McVeigh and the Oklahoma City bombing, he always told you that they put a chip up his buttocks. This was in the implantable biochips by Mars. Another thing I want to get up here quick because it is going to go off. Hillary Clinton. Hey, Hillary, and you poo-pooing and that's illness and all this, inferring it, if you believe in conspiracies. Well, of course there's conspiracies. There was a conspiracy that overthrew my father and brought me over here and all the money that's rolled in. In your Area 51 in Australia, you must be joking. You don't know about that. You don't know about the biggest underground military base under Great Britain. It belongs to you, the United States. Now then, real quick, Jesse Ventura, the wrestler, the governor of Minnesota twice, he went out and they did let him photograph the New World Order. That's a part of what you are. Near Hot Springs or it was in Arkansas, Hot Springs or Little Rock, and they have all these hotels. They've got they don't let anybody in, but Ventura did put it up on HLN, underground bunkers and apartments so they can live. And it's locked up. How he got in, they let him, I don't know, but they're expecting either a world catastrophe event or they're going to overthrow the whole government they have anyway. And that's where they can hide out into heck with you.